The next level of investors.
Yes.
You want to know where the real stuff is?
It's true. That's the secret game. It ain't tech.
Right,
Well,
right.
it is. But we're nowhere near money like tech. However.
Hello and welcome to Group Chat. I'm your host, Bentley, and today I'm excited to welcome Naila Ansari-Catilo, professor at Buff State University, choreographer, and performing artist, to name just a couple of the things that you do. Kyle Mecca, director, filmmaker, and co-founder of Casting Buffalo and Giant Monster Productions. And Cory McCants, performer and host of Buffalo Toronto Public Media's digital series Compact History and Compact Civics. And also your new Instagram is It's Cory V. ITSCORYV. So that's your actor.
There we go.
Yeah.
Come on, new socials.
We've got a great show for today. First, we're unpacking the pressure and perception around Hollywood beauty standards. Then we're keeping it local with a spotlight on Buffalo's growing movie scene. And finally, we'll raise the curtain on the world of musical theater from the bright lights of Broadway to the beating heart of Buffalo stages. But first, what are you all talking about in your group chats? What's going on in your worlds? Naila, you're in rehearsals.
So one is just like we got to do this, and this. That's like one group chat. And then it's like the political group chat where everyone's just like slightly vomiting about the news of the day. And then there's just my regular friend group chat that's like, we're upset summer's ending.
Oh,
I know. Once August hit, I got this summer
coming
Summer
too
blues.
fast.
Yeah.
Listen, my birthday was July 26th, and I always say whenever it hits, we're done. We're done.
Yes.
Because September 1st will happen, and like we'll be into spooky season.
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
Boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Spirits
cool.
are already getting built. I'm seeing the
Yeah, I was
spirits.
going to say they're already
Come on,
here.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, that just sounds like an excuse to make everybody celebrate your birthday more.
Maybe.
This is the final
It's
one,
the end
y'all.
of summer. Let's make it a thing. Too funny. Yeah, it's been crazy busy here this summer for film and television. It's just been nonstop. Actually, for this entire year has been really, really impressive. And currently there are 2 features going on right now in Buffalo, and another one about to start up in about a week and a half. And I'm directing a commercial, and I'm going insane, but it's a good insane.
Yeah. So his group chats are filled with,
they're filled with
Logistics.
There's probably 25 right now, and with the expo coming up, so it's just okay.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Someone let me know when I'm going to breathe. Just
Cory, you're doing summer. You're transitioning right now because you're doing summer. School,
summer
and then
school
you'll
is
get
happening
into-
right now. But I think my group chats are, my sibling group chat. So that I think maybe last weekend I got my nephew. So I had my nephew for a little bit of time. So me texting my siblings about that, showing that I'm the favorite uncle. You know what I mean?
How old is your nephew?
5. He's 5
Oh,
now.
that's
Yeah.
a good age. That's a good
So,
age. That's
yeah.
fun.
But then on my friend group chat, a few of us, I don't know what I can and can't talk about, but a few of us are, we're up for a commercial. It would be all of us, like me and all my homies in a commercial. So if that works out, it would be really great. We're waiting to hear back from them. And then one of my boys just made a digital cookbook. He's a chef Lamont. He just made a digital cookbook that he's about to start selling. So he's
That's
been
awesome.
showing us what about this? So that insight is super dope to see someone from that other side making something like that. You know what I mean?
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that's cool. It's dope.
Come on, good friends.
I mean, you guys have very important.
Yeah.
I feel like mine is all nonsense right now, just because I'm trying to escape the world. When I actually answer people, sorry if you're listening. So, Kyle, you mentioned how busy things are in the production world here in Buffalo. So we're going to be talking a lot about that in this episode. And obviously in the theater world, lots going on. Some of the things that have been coming up in pop culture lately, the Naked Gun movie is being talked about. Liam Neeson and Pam Anderson. Everybody likes a good couple gossip story. Yeah. Right. What of these things, especially Pamela Anderson, what kind of conversations have you heard have been started about beauty standards?
I just think Pamela Anderson is just the wrong person to deliver the message. It's just like, what are we doing? You were like one way for so long, and then all of a sudden it's just like no makeup, and we're just gonna act like you're not Pamela Anderson. That's Pamela Anderson, because now you're just like a regular, like you just giving grandma vibes.
Oh, sure.
But
Auntie, I'll give Auntie.
Okay.
I'll give Auntie. But we're back to like the Alicia Keys thing, and Alicia Keys is back to her makeup and skin line. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like with the Pamela Anderson thing, it's very much, it's showing growth. I feel like from being at beauty standard for so long, and now is like, I'm going to go clean slated. I'm going to actually find someone who probably cares about me, which is someone like, Liam Neeson, who was with Natasha Richardson for years until that tragedy happened and all that. So I don't know. It's very interesting. It's also kind of like a weird reflection of the movie The Substance that happened like a year ago.
Man, yeah.
So I mean, like, there's some areas going
I
on.
just don't know if Hollywood is your place for growth. It's Hollywood. Like Hollywood is not growing. So the issue is like when you go on the red carpet, it's not just about like being natural. It's like sometimes a whole lot of lights don't look good on on your skin.
Thank you.
Like,
As I look
like I
around
just don't
the
want to
lights in
look
this
at
room
you
right now.
looking like I don't want to see Patti LaBelle not be Patti LaBelle or like Dolly Parton. I don't want to see them not be who they are in Hollywood.
Oh, interesting.
I'll be invited to your house if I want to see you chill on your couch.
Right.
Interesting.
Walk your dog. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that person. I'm like old school. I don't really want to know about people's personal lives.
I mean, so I think to both of your points, I think that there is a level of like, fun history fact. Like when you talk about makeup in Hollywood and those lights specifically, it was a political debate between Nixon and maybe Kennedy or something like that, where like Nixon was like, I'm not putting makeup on, like I'm a man, get out of here, I'm not doing that, right? And JFK had it on, and in the interview, this was like one of the first televised interviews, you see Nixon sweating, and you see all this, and it makes him look unprepared,
Right.
and JFK has the makeup on, he chilling, he doing his thing, and like, so to your point of, there's reasons outside of just like, oh, beauty standards, why you want, if all the lights are on you, why you want makeup on her, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's a reason. But then to the other point of just growth and stuff like that, I think it points more to what the beauty standards were and are.
Yeah.
And so like Pam Anderson for a long time was that beauty standard, Carmen Electra and all that. And growing up as a young black boy, I'm like, they're beautiful, but like that's not when I'm looking at, you know what I mean? So like
same way.
so what the beauty standard even was,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Maybe it's
Who
time
was
for us to
that
hold a light up
I?
to what that was, because now these people or these women are like, I don't want to be the standard. Like I want to chill. Like I want to be. So I don't know. It's something for like both sides of that.
Truly, who was that gaze for?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Man, that was
like,
watching Baywatch.
Maybe, but
With
wasn't
the red
us. We were too
swimsuit.
young.
Right.
I wasn't about to
You've gone back and watched Baywatch clips.
The run-in with
the slow-mo run. Yeah, I've heard.
But like looking into like makeup in Hollywood and everything, like I think the really, really interesting part is that, and I think a lot of people just don't grasp it, is that like everyone's favorite movie star probably knows more about makeup than anyone else.
Yes.
Because that is their life. Like
Mhm.
every day they're in that makeup trailer for at least 45 minutes to an hour.
Mhm.
And I would say a good 80% of them, like big stars, have their own makeup artist
Right.
that they've,
Yeah.
been friends with and like hired and is
tattoo,
part of their
partnership.
entourage, you know what I mean, that comes in. So I think that's like how ingrained it is into that society. So I guess when you look at it, like, is Pam making a statement for everyone, including her industry, or is she just sick and tired of it?
She's
I
older.
think she's just sick and tired
With
of it.
age comes not lack of caring.
Yeah.
You be like, bro, I'm not doing all
I
this.
think she's like, this is like my 800th like red carpet event,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
maybe we read more into it than anything else.
100%.
Like, I think she,
Yes,
I think everyone's like, oh my God, look, she's on this journey. And she could not be on that journey.
Right.
She could still be wilding out at home doing like she was.
She forgot once, and she's like, all
And
right.
that's it.
This is
Like,
We're here
this
now.
is my new
Yeah.
brand.
Right,
Like,
right.
I'm cool.
Or she just didn't feel like it one day and was like, you know what,
That's it.
But
kinda
that's
do
great,
that. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny what you said about actors knowing about makeup, because I think about that with TV personalities too, because like, I was always on podcasts and radio, and then it's all of a sudden everything's on video now.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I didn't ever have to worry about like camera makeup, but like news broadcasters, that's their life, and that's always they know how to do that anywhere. They can pop up and be in the storm and wind and a blizzard, and like have their makeup ready in the TV vehicle, so that when they go do a shot just to be like blowing around in the wind, then they they look good and they know what to do,
and they know their good sides, they know their bad sides, they know the products that they love. It's a crazy journey.
And sometimes it's too much is too much. But I think when we're talking about just kind of like an even keel, like it is, I think it's when people go out, it's nice for people to feel like I got up and got dressed to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could be a rebellion with Pam too, because she always was that.
Well, it's Pam. Yeah. I just don't take it. I just think it's just her being like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then, you brought up Alicia Keys, which...
Oh, that was, I don't know what that... I don't know. I think it was just for her. I think that was just a total Brandon thing for her skincare. I think that was like, my skin is clear.
Yeah.
And here comes my skin line.
Yeah. It worked on me.
I mean, it worked on me. I was like...
Yeah. Oh, man.
But there's certain women that can do that.
All her products.
I mean, like, Alicia Keys is one of those women that can do... Holly Berry can do that. There's certain people that's like,
But, I do think, though, that I think for like, I think, this is my opinion, for like the average guy that doesn't really know, their idea of like what a natural face is or what like, a little bit of makeup is so skewed that to see someone on television with an actual natural face is like, this is the reality. Like what you see on Instagram is not the daily. Nobody's waking up like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I do think it's important from that side to be like, all these, women or men that you idolize and all that, like, that is not the everyday. And so there's like a voice to be, heard in that aspect.
Yeah.
That like natural faces are okay, and they sometimes look like this. Eyebrows sometimes look like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's that side of it that I wonder, but I mean,
I think
Alicia
social media
Keys,
did ruin it though.
Yeah,
because remember, Holly Berry was like a crackhead losing to Isaiah. Losing Isaiah. What was the name of the movie? That was
Losing Isaiah. Yeah.
And like nobody thought anything of it. Like, oh, she looks terrible.
Right,
they were like,
right.
she's playing a drug addict.
Yeah.
And then when she got on the red carpet, she was like, and this is the Holly Berry that I know.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I just think we got out of like the characters and like the actors that were portraying.
Blended.
And it's now too much.
Yeah.
Like people are going outside as a whole character. Like Nicki Minaj, like, I don't know. Everybody is trying to be like a Nicki Minaj, Cardi B kind of vibe.
I don't think it's a now thing, though. I feel like this is just, it's history and decades of, people who pop up and do that. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Are they trying to play a character? Are they trying to because, I mean, you got to think like in the 80s, too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, with glam rock and with that, you know what I mean? Like that.
Blue eyeshadow was definitely real.
That was a thing.
That was real.
That was a look. That was a thing. But
Mascara.
then even if you go back to like the golden age of like Hollywood, and how they did makeup and how they glammed and created their characters. So it's like a generational thing, and it's, I guess.
But they never had social, like, it was never a constant. It was never an everyday thing or the only thing you see. You know what I mean? Like, if I see you in a movie or something, that's one thing. But this is like people, I do feel like people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right. I do feel like
like
people portray this as their life. Like, I curate what people see of me, and it's only this.
Right.
And like, so I do wonder, but that is a good point. That like every decade or generation, we have something that fills that void.
And it seems like it's all based off of, the visual medium, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're right. Now it's kind of, it's hard to hide.
Yeah.
Those walls don't exist.
Right. Grocery store shopping, everyone. Which,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, for me, if I see a celebrity going grocery store shop, I don't want you to look like you just had a makeup artist go. Like the Kardashians, I think that looks absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
Because, like,
So
who
this
is
is you
getting their makeup?
24/7?
Yeah.
Right. Like, now I
Yeah.
can't take you seriously,
Yeah.
like, as a person.
As a human.
But
like,
that's, I don't know, that was the big debacle with, what's the Sweeney, the American Eagle?
Sydney Sweeney?
Sydney
Oh,
Sweeney.
boy.
That just
Yeah.
came out.
Well, in case you just joined us, you're listening. You're listening to Group Chat. I'm your host, Bentley, here with Kyle Mecca, Naila Ansari-Catilo, and Cory McCants. And yeah, I don't want to see you grocery shopping in full glam, because if you got to go grocery shopping, you just ran in there on your way somewhere, or you picked up your kids, or you know what I mean? Like you don't have your glam squad with you. But
Right.
Yeah, I've lived in
know.
Atlanta, and I have seen it for myself in grocery stores. Women are decked to the nines, high heels, the mall. It is like a thing. And I just don't know. I
seems
just
so exhausting.
It is exhausting.
I think that's why I I appreciate Pam Anderson, because I am lazy when it comes to getting ready. Not lazy, I just don't allocate my time properly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna shower and put some moisturizer on my face, and then if I have to be on camera at work, I'll put that on. But now you can't get away from it because everybody's trying to put you on social media and whatever. So, but yeah, I don't know how much planning goes into. It's funny when there seems to be planning going into not looking like you didn't plan something.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like,
So now it's a new layer. That's a new layer. Jeez.
Kyle, so we've been talking about beauty standards, but where does that fall into guidelines in the casting industry?
I mean, it's a weird hill to kind of explore, because when it comes to casting, which is what my world is, and directing, but with casting, we're dealing with so many different voices and opinions that come through from either different directors or agencies or producers or whoever it comes from, and they all have a vision that is very specific, and then those beauty standards are within those specific visions. And it can be a very, very weird thing, because we either can be, looking at performance, or we could be looking literally at beauty standards.
Yeah.
And to be like, this is what we have to choose from because this is the guidelines that we're given.
Yeah.
And ultimately, as casting directors, we're in charge of basically creating a wide net and finding people who fit within the guidelines that are given to us. And then we present. So ultimately, we aren't decision makers. We are not decision makers. We're not the reason why you didn't get that role. Sorry, Cory. But we are, but we are helping to guide a vision. Like most people on a film set or a television or commercial, and we're presenting it. So those decisions come from up top.
Yeah.
Of what direction you go with, but you have some weird conversations.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's especially, between different standards of what they're looking for. If they're looking for diversity, if they're looking for just age, ages and what realm they're going to go in that, on top of who is the character,
Yeah.
And when you get into film, I think, especially genre film, what's really interesting is what can kind of really change that overlooked guideline is someone's performance. Someone's performance and their particular look can totally change the mind of everybody in the room.
100%.
If you bring something that's different to the table. But it is a huge factor in casting and what we do. And then when I'm directing, I have a specific vision. But I've kind of trained myself to this is what we've been given to cast off of. This is what I'm looking for within the environment and the character. But show me what you got.
Yeah.
Well, it was when Naila brought up Halle Berry, if she walked into a room, you wouldn't think, okay,
Crackhead.
she would make a good
Right.
crackhead.
That's her. Knew it.
And then you have the other areas of now people getting plastic surgery, and this is not just women, this is men too, and male identifying people, female identifying people, and Harrison Ford was just asked if he ever plans to retire from acting, and his answer was no, and he said that one good thing about acting is that older actors are needed to play older roles, so he's not worried about aging. He's like, everybody needs an older guy in film. And then there's the facelift trends. Chris Jenner. So, do you feel that there is a double standard? Is there, because you are seeing just as many males now in the spotlight getting plastic surgery, but is it more acceptable for males to grow old gracefully?
Yeah, I think so. Because the expectation for women is that they're going to look gorgeous until they are 80 maybe.
Yeah.
That's a long range. With men, it's George Clooney. It's like, oh, you're 40 and got some gray hair? Oh, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's amazing. We're
Yeah.
going to be on
Right.
GQ and everything else. And I think now, I think the plastic surgery is just out of control. And a lot of it, I just think, is insecurity because there's so much coming at you on social media that the expectation is I have to look like this, like we were talking about earlier, all the time.
Yeah.
And so I think people are just trying to get the plastic surgery to enhance what they look like all the time.
Yeah.
But it backfires. Like a lot of that stuff, like, you know, it was like K. Michelle, she had to get all of her like implants taken out that she got like a BBL or something. I mean, it's dangerous. It's surgery. It's not like it's just something that's like light and put some makeup and take it off. So I think there is a double standard because men can look, you know, old and be found attractive. Women, it's not the same. Like no one was like, oh my gosh, I just think Patti LaBelle is so fine. Said love her, but you know what I mean. But that's not what they're
There's
saying.
someone,
about
And then
her.
enter
There's
Madonna.
there's someone, but
Yeah.
like the average 20, 30-year-old person, that's not who they're identifying as someone that looks
Right.
good. Even Dolly Parton is like much as we love her, and she's like a sex symbol at one point. She's like everybody's like auntie now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
And then Mick Jagger enters the conversation.
Love Mick Jagger though. You love Mick Jagger. And this is just proves the point, right? Because like.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, totally.
there's no universal answer. We're talking
Right.
about like majority, and I agree because if you talk about Pam Grier, I mean, I was 15, like
Right.
I would marry this woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like for me specifically, it didn't matter how old Pam Grier got. I thought she was fine, but that's not everybody.
Right.
And the same with that because also Denzel, like for what Denzel was to who he is now, like Denzel was closer to grandpa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but who Denzel was through the 90s? You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like in that side.
I think he
You
keeps
see
getting
it.
better and better, but you know,
But
that's our body. Like, listen, that's my
Because in Gladiator, I said, come on, what
He was
he was fight choreography.
yeah, man.
I was for it.
But I do like when you talk about like Mickey Rourke or I mean Sylvester Stallone at this
Yeah.
point, Zac Efron, like all these guys, for whatever reason that they're getting it, you are seeing it more and more. But I think on that front, it's perceived as like weirder. It's like, why are you getting it as a guy? So in that front, it's like it's not as accepted for men, but are women getting it somewhere often because they feel like they need it so much more? Like the standards are on them so much heavier. But then you think about, I know the story. I heard a story of it was Tom Cruise and who played his opposite in Top Gun. I can't remember her name. Blonde girl, Top Gun.
Oh yeah, she wasn't asked back.
Yeah.
No, but also so it was
McGinnis.
maybe it was like the
Yes,
Joe Rogan podcast or something like that. But like they talked about what she looks like now, and it's like she just looks like a 60-something-year-old
should-
woman. Right.
How she should look.
Yeah.
But what does Tom Cruise look like right now? And Tom
A good
Cruise,
plastic surgeon. Him and Jane Fonda probably got the same one. Jane Fonda,
you're right.
she another
Jane
one.
Fonda is
I don't rock with the plastic surgery, but whoever her surgeon is, that's who I want.
But so like, and so my point is, in that sense, Tom Cruise has been getting work consistently that whole time, but also like he could still play an action star, like as believable as it can be, because he's like, you know, shorter guy, he's older, but he can still do it. And if she were to come play his love interest, it would be like, this is weird. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the demand for men to be that rugged, older Liam Neeson, like even Idris
feel like
Elba
the-
at this point.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but that George Clooney standard that you brought up,
Yes,
'cause
right.
I feel like that was
Right.
the first one to bring that conversation. Like,
It's true. Oh, he's good.
He's a
looking.
silver
you can
fox.
do
Right,
you know,
right,
that
right.
term.
He's
Yep,
right.
yep, yeah.
And
And
it's
then it
more
was-
acceptable, I think, for older men to be with younger women too.
Yeah.
Like the cougar thing is like, I guess, kind of, but it's not as I feel like as accepted.
Yeah, or seen, because
Or
a lot of that
right.
I'm sure comes from Hollywood. A lot of stuff is real.
Right.
Older dudes getting younger. You know.
Right.
But before American Pie '99, you didn't know what a MILF didn't exist, so that wasn't a
That's
thing.
true,
You know what I mean?
that's true.
Yeah.
I love that that term has entered the group chat. When we come back from the break, we're talking about the local film industry. Don't go away. Group chat on BTPM NPR. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining us again on Group Chat. I'm your host, Bentley, and I'm joined by Naila Ansari-Catilo, professor at Buff State University, choreographer and performing artist, Kyle Mecca, director, filmmaker, and co-founder of Casting Buffalo and Giant Monster Productions, and Cory McCants, performer and host of Buffalo Toronto Public Media's digital series, Compact History and Compact Civics. We always need the history. You brought a lot of history into that last conversation.
Yeah,
I always appreciate
That was
your
great.
your
I
knowledge.
didn't know about the Nixon.
Yeah.
I
Compact
learned
history.
something
There you go.
today.
Watch Compact History.
So Buffalo's been getting a lot of attention lately for productions, and Kyle is here because he is the co-founder of Casting Buffalo. So can you explain to people that don't know what Casting Buffalo is and what your role is there?
Yeah, so Casting Buffalo is a local casting company that does castings for film, television, commercials, anywhere in Western New York, a little bit beyond. And we are not an agency, so we're not someone who owns talent and talent belongs to. We are casting directors, 3 of us. It's myself. There is my partners, Harry Lipsitz and Peter Johnson. And all 3 of us are basically hired out by productions that come into town, and we are then cast the roles that they're searching for. And either that be from principal to supporting to day players, which is someone who has 1 or 2, 3 lines, like the local baker or the automotive guy or whatever. And then background, which is our background extras. And we kind of spanned that, and we've done it for about 10 years, but about only 5 as a company. And it has been an amazing journey for us to do here. So it's been crazy. But that's Casting Buffalo, and I come from that film world as a director from Buffalo State. So I graduated from Buffalo State in 2013.
Television film arts. That's
Yes. There you go.
Yep.
And actually last year I was lucky enough to adjunct for a semester in the program teaching
Wow.
TFA students.
Full circle.
And that was a
Look at
beautiful
that, man.
full
Gotta bring you
circle
back.
moment.
Gotta bring you back.
Right.
So Naila, being on all sides of this, what does it mean for, especially programs at Buff State? What does it mean for the community to have these kind of things happening in Buffalo?
Well, it's important because a lot of people don't know, statistically, we actually lose a lot of our college graduates, and they go elsewhere because there's no jobs for them. That includes the arts.
Yeah.
A lot of times they just kind of are looking into these kind of corporate private sectors, and we're only keeping 30%, if that, of our students here, and everyone else is just out. I got to go someplace else because no one's leaving.
Yeah.
But for the arts, that's significantly less.
Yeah.
So to even have performers here that can actually keep a job here for what they went in school for is incredible. And to have that outlet we kind of just think actors, but in terms of television, film arts, that's, cameras, that's the costumes, that's lights, that's everything that you can think of on the technical side and creative side as well. So it's important. I mean, we had actually just talked about that because the show Dreamgirls, is coming up. It's an all Buffalo cast, and I would say majority of them are SUNY students, whether it's Fredonia, Buff State, UB, either alums or are in school right now in Niagara University as well.
Yeah.
That's huge for us because the moment people can, they're like, I'm going to New York, I'm going to LA, and we can't sustain here. And with that being said, we all need more money. So that's, something I'll put out there too, is that we can only continue the pipeline because we have people investing in the arts.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people just think it's on the nonprofit side of a grant is going to get it. And it's not. Movies make money, theaters make money. There's investments that are not just in what you see all the time, that it has to be tech or has to be food or has to be all these things. The arts keep economically, we know they keep cities thriving.
Yeah.
Lion King just came here. I think it was over $16 million that we brought in just for the local area. That's not ticket sales. That's just the local area for parking, for restaurants, for that brings into the economy. And if we don't have that pipeline, then we don't also have a thriving city. Yeah.
And I mean, and New York State invested in film.
Yes,
they turned around and they said, we are going to do a tax credit and do one of the best inside the country, especially if you go outside of New York City.
So upstate, there's
do
more,
upstate,
right?
Yeah, you get it above the line as well, which is something that really drives people here. But it's the investment. One feature film is going to bring in millions and millions of dollars because you got to think of the hotel rooms, the food services, the carpentry, the like production design going and buying from places and businesses
Local
and small
hiring.
and local everything.
Yeah.
And then like if you keep it here, you just extend these amazing relationships that you've built with all of these businesses, and you get to go back to the well
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
over and over
Right.
again.
And Kyle, you might be able to shed some light on this. So there is the tax credit. So it's an extra 10% for upstate
Yes,
productions.
correct.
But also, do you find that it is cheaper to purchase things like in comparison to New York City, or if you have to shut a street down, or if you know, those other costs that go in?
Oh yeah, I mean like Buffalo is second to none because you go to New York City, they don't want you there.
No.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean? They don't
Shut
want
down
Right.
Times
They're
Square.
Not
over it.
yeah, I was gonna say shutting down a street, trying to like permits galore, fines on top of this, let alone trying to get police. You know, where
Yeah.
Buffalo is very much like, what do you need?
Right.
Yeah.
You
Make
know,
it work.
whatever you need, we will make it work.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, shutting down streets for what we need is one phone call. You know, a lot of that is the Buffalo Film Commission with
Right.
Tim Clark and Rich Wall. Like
Yep.
they are incredible human beings who have literally brought so much to our area.
Yep.
And they have just created something that they will pick up the phone and they will, you know, answer and make it happen.
Yeah.
That is like nowhere like anywhere else in the world because we're eager. We're happy to do it. We're the city of good neighbors.
Right.
Yeah.
So we want to be a part of it.
There's definitely like to your point, Buffalo is where I always say we're like a pretty large city with a small town mentality. And because of that, I think everybody here is 2 degrees away from knowing somebody. So to Kyle's point, like you, like in New York, you know, we've all lived in New York. In New York, it's like, I want to get to this place, but you got to talk to this person and this person and this person to get anywhere. And here, it's like, I want to get to this place. And it's like, oh, my cousin knows that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He
And so-
owns it.
Right. So you're 2 degrees away from knowing like ahead of something
Yeah.
to where you can just get on the phone and call this person who's like, oh, I make that decision.
Yeah.
And of course I'll help you out. And
Yeah.
so now people are waking up. You know, like the idea of like keep Buffalo a secret, like for some things, yes. But in other ways, it's like we need to let the secret out a little bit because people need to know how
yeah.
awesome it really is
Well,
here.
I think it was let out a little bit when we just did the last film here, which was Hallmark
Oh,
coming
was
in
that Mario
to do.
Lopez?
No. So that was actually Great American Family.
Okay.
Hallmark did the Buffalo Bills holiday touchdown, the
Yeah,
Bill
the
story,
holiday set, yep.
and part of that is it's directly involved with the NFL.
Yep.
So with that means is you need to have a conversation with the Buffalo Bills to
Right.
make a Buffalo Bills movie. And the comparison that the production company was telling us from the Bills to the Kansas City Chiefs from the year before is completely night and day.
Yeah.
I wonder
Like-
why.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, Kansas
I wonder
City.
who was better.
You know, the Chiefs kind of just stopped the gates at every chance that they could and tried to charge whatever they could. And the Bills were just like,
Let's have some fun.
here's the keys. Let us know when you're
And we
done.
have the best fans, by the way. So
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, whoever you need,
Right.
they'll come.
I mean, as you know, because you did not have a hard time finding extras for that.
No, we ended up casting over 2,500 extras.
Oh, that's
Jeez.
amazing.
Oh my
That's amazing.
gosh.
2,500.
Wow.
One night at the stadium, we had I think 1,700 people.
That's amazing.
For extras, and it was, you know, and of course we're word in because we're like, you have to think that many people in one area.
Yeah.
Like you don't know,
right.
yeah.
Right.
you know what I mean? Like you can
Yeah.
only screen so much, but
Right.
it, like I don't know
You don't
who's
know
gonna
what
be,
happened, yeah.
you know,
Right. Yeah.
and
This is my moment.
Right.
you know, but we had a lot of faith that like it's Bill's Mafia,
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
so.
We
You
know
know-
how to
you
behave
know what
and
you
not
gotta-
behave
yeah.
at the same
And they
time.
came in the
That's great.
gates, and they were the most well-behaved,
Let's
listening
go, man. Let's go.
people we've ever
Because it's
met.
for the Bills. We
Y'all
all
hear that,
we will
Buffalo?
come together for
Y'all
the
hear
Bills
that?
and shovel
Yeah.
snow.
And you'll see on our Instagram, we've like had a few like TikToks and videos that we like recorded from that night, and just how people are just listening
Yeah.
Yeah.
and cheering and doing
Yeah.
the crowd work, and like
Yep.
they were all game.
Mhm.
You know, no matter if they were in the top row to the bottom row to right next to camera, like they were there, locked in.
We got a lot of actors here.
You didn't know it. You didn't know
It
it.
was great. You know, it was an amazing experience.
But the
It really
production
was
will see.
surreal.
The production teams will see that, And when they think, where do we want to do this? It's like,
Everyone
why not
talks.
go where everybody loves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where everybody loves to be.
Exactly. I mean, that's the only reason why I knew about the Mario Lopez, because he had posted it because it was like a little cold, I guess.
Yeah.
When he was filming, he was like, "It's
It
snowing."
was June. It was snowing. It's fine.
It's
What do you
snowing and
mean?
it's
little cold.
summertime in Buffalo. But he looked like he enjoyed it. But
He
that
did.
kind of stuff, I mean,
It sticks.
it came out just like on my feed, and I was like, "Why is Mario Lopez?" talking
Yeah.
about Buffalo? And then I was like, "Of course, because
Yeah.
we're Buffalo and we have the best talent."
Buffalo love, man.
Corey, you've brought up in previous episodes about, going when you went to New York for extra opportunities.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's where you went, even if you wanted to just have some work
Yeah.
as extra.
Yeah.
And now,
Now
You're
you
right.
don't have to
And
go
now
nowhere.
Yeah.
you
Now
know?
it's home. It's back here at
It's-
home, you know?
And what a lot of actors look for to do is they try to see if they can become union, which is the Screen
Yeah.
Actors Guild. In order to do that, there's like only two paths you can do it. One is you get a speaking role. So you're, if you want it, you're constantly just auditioning and just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping one day it happens. The other route is that you become a background actor and you try to get cast as background. And if you get 3 background gigs underneath the Screen Actors Guild, you get vouchers. You get what's called a Taft-Hartley. You then become eligible to join the union. Well, good luck trying to do that in New York, LA, and Atlanta. That doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Buffalo, you can probably do it within a year.
Yeah.
And other people are there for years, decades trying to.
It's their career. Their background work is in New York, it's some people's career.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
That's what they do year round.
And they're doing it for years. And I'm like, just this? And they're like, yeah, well, maybe when they have aspirations to maybe, getting that card. And it's like.
And it's hard to get an agent sometimes when you're not a part of the union. And
it's
this weird cycle,
yeah.
catch-22 phase. So for us, it's important is that we saw the growth. We saw that, New York's putting money into this. This is our passion to make film. But we saw the need of, 1, we need more talent that needs to show up for when you make these movies. And 2, we need more crew.
Right.
Which is why we created the Casting Buffalo Actors Expo.
Yes. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I don't think that, I just learned that these extra roles can then help you in your career as an actor.
That's how I got my SAG card.
Really?
I was performing random.
I want to hear.
Oh,
Everyone, please put it on your list.
What was it?
It was a Rumor Willis movie.
Okay.
It was like a scary movie or something. Anyway, I was dancing back, but the director came back and we had to wait this ridiculously long time. But it was in Pittsburgh. It was a small town. They're like, "Hey, you guys want your SAG card?" Because we had to do choreography and stuff. So it was a little bit more than what you typically have to do. And they gave us our SAG card. That's literally
insane.
that was
crazy.
to your point, but it was because it was a small town, and that's just what it was. It was Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And they were like, we feel really bad. I think it was almost 2 days straight that we were waiting. Then we had to do these rehearsals whenever she was available. It was just a lot going on. But you don't get those opportunities in New York and LA. It just wouldn't have happened like that.
So the expo was born.
It was, it was something where we saw the need. We knew we've been hearing about the rumors. We know that things were going to happen. And for us, it's just we want to make sure the city's prepared for what comes. And now it's here. And I don't want to make sure that we're not behind the ball with all of that.
Right.
So this year, this is actually our 3rd year doing the expo. And this year it takes place on August 23rd at the Atrium at Riches from 12 to 7. And tickets are available at castingbuffalo.com. And what we wanted to do is just in our 3rd year, really keep expanding to what we're doing. So we wanted to touch base on crew. How do we crew up? How do we make sure that, either it be from people who want to change their career, look into something new, has something that's within the same realm where hey, I'm really good at woodwork, but I can do that in a movie set and build sets.
Oh,
sure.
that's great. Yeah.
To someone who's coming straight out of college or looking to come out of college and have those opportunities as an internship or get on as a production assistant and kind of learn where you want to go. We really wanted to expand in that way. So this year we have a ton of different workshops through Film Neighbor Network, who's presenting that. We talk about locations and camera department and grip and electric and art department and how you can kind of weave and learn about those departments.
Yeah.
We have a PA, production assistant, certification course that's starting the day, which is almost a 2.5-hour course, ran by two of our amazing local PAs who've been to New York and coming back because it's busy. They are running that course, and it's through us and through Casting Buffalo and Buffalo Camera, where you can get a certification.
Everybody's rental
So you
place.
can get certified as being a production assistant, learn how it is when you first up on set, the expectations, know the basics. What's a C-stand? What's walkie lingo? What if I handed you a walkie? How do you talk?
And this is open to anybody.
This is open to anybody,
That's
all
even
ages.
interested, all ages. They don't have to have prior experience.
No.
Okay.
And that's why I think this is a type of convention is like, we want anybody who's like fresh off, trying to find their way in the world, to like people who've maybe did it a few years ago or like just want to refresh. But it's also an amazing networking event.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Yep.
like, especially, Corey, like in this business, how you keep busy is by networking,
Absolutely.
by impressing, by continuing to have conversations and finding your weird, and you find your weird, you're going to be able to keep doing things. So, a lot of what we designed for the expo is to basically create a network for you without you having to do a lot of the legwork. Just show up, be prepared, meet people, talk to people, take in the information as much as possible.
Awesome. And that's coming up August 23rd. So right around the corner. And everything kind of comes full circle. We were talking about resources and, how everybody's involved. And the Buffalo Film Commission actually used to be housed in this building in Buffalo,
I've been here
Toronto
many
Public.
times. Yeah.
If you order DoorDash from here, it still comes up. Buffalo Film Commission. And, Marshall, Quiet Place too. Like John Krasinski was here.
Yes, he was. He had an office.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's like everybody comes together from all areas of the city to make these things happen. So it's an exciting time.
Yes. Man.
And, we got a lot of other exciting things coming up. The theater scene. I feel like we need to get Naila here as often as we can, because I feel like she's going to disappear from our lives in September.
Crazy. Curtain Up is getting ready to come up.
I
Curtain
know.
Up is when everything floodgates open for theater.
Yeah. So when we come back from the break, we're talking about all things musical theater. Group chat on BTPM NPR. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Group Chat. I'm your host, Bentley, here with my guests, Naila Ansari-Catilo, professor at Buffalo State University, choreographer and performing artist, Kyle Mecca, director, filmmaker, and co-founder of Casting Buffalo and Giant Monster Productions, and Cory McCants, performer and host of Buffalo Toronto Public Media's digital series, Compact History and Compact Civics. Cory, give me your new Instagram again.
New Instagram. Y'all can follow me at It's Cory V, ITSCORYV.
Okay.
Is this your
So I
hard
wanna make
launch?
sure.
Yeah. I made it like 2 days ago, so this is it right now.
And I feel like we just have to get Naila in here whenever we can, and I feel like she's starting to get real busy because Dreamgirls opening at Shays on September 11th.
September 10th. September
10th through September 28th. Rehearsals this week.
Yes, the rehearsals start this week. I'm so excited. After production can get so daunting. Like people don't know that you're like literally in production for almost a year prior to the show coming out.
Yeah.
So you're just in logistics meeting after budgets, and you're just looking at decimals, and people are like, "It's over budget." No, yes. And then when you get a yes, you're just excited for the day, and then you go back to a no. So it's just a lot that happens.
Yeah.
But this is the fun part. In the actors, you get your first read. You get this. Especially because it's a musical, so you get the songs and the band, and it's so exciting. I can't wait.
I'm getting chills right now.
Yeah.
And your production company, you now have your own production company, right? Ansari Saxon Productions.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, that's awesome.
How did this production company start, and what is the mission behind the company?
So Karen Saxon is my co-founder, and we've been doing shows for forever together, I feel like. But after a while, you kind of get tired of just only doing the creative part of it. And when you're still on the back end doing a lot of the producing side of it.
Yeah.
And for us, there's just not that many Black and brown shows that are produced here in Buffalo. And Karen and I were like, we need to be able to build something on our own. We have the talent, and we also want to bring in the talent, find investments, get money, so we can not just see a show once a year. We have more shows for folks to see that aren't kind of like your more traditional musical theater shows, and get it out and get it exposed. And not just musical theater shows, but shows in general. We're working with a company now called Passing the Crown, all women's hip hop show. That's super dope.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a festival in Denver with a Rhapsody, and then there's a show in Lincoln Center with MC Light. So we're working on bringing them here. So it's just like a magnitude of just bringing different women and Black shows, brown shows to the forefront. And what does that look like, even if it's not necessarily fitting that musical theater traditional mode. But so many folks kind of just only think of it as like a community theater kind of space. They don't necessarily know the bigger end of it. Like when you see Broadway shows now, you see a lot of celebrities that are starting to invest and put in money and put in shows. And that is not kind of the traditional model that we're used to seeing here in Buffalo. So Karen and I were like, you know what? We have a lot of actors here that are amazing. We have a lot of talent. We have amazing shows outside of Buffalo that our folks really want to be able to see here in the community in Buffalo want to see. We're a huge theater town. How can we switch the game up a little bit and bring some of those classics, but also some new contemporary flavors to the Buffalo scene?
Someone needed to start it, right?
Someone needed to start. And it's so
Do it.
funny because we've been talking about it for years, and like Karen's husband was like, y'all need to do it. And then my mom like, y'all need to do it. And after a while, you just don't listen to it until you really kind of like get forced to kind of make
There's
that.
a need.
Makes sense.
It was that need that kind of happened. So we partnered with Shays for our first production with Dreamgirls. And it was
what
just
a partner.
Right?
Yeah, what a partner.
Come on.
And they've been
Only in
amazing
Buffalo.
too. I know. And
Partner with
they were like,
Shays.
all right, well, and that's to their credit because we've done work for Shays. Like we did their first produced show ever, which was Once on This Island at 5 stars from Broadway World. And so, to be fair, Karen and I had put our work in to show
Right.
that we know how to make good shows.
Yeah.
And Shays was like, let's do this. And so, Brian Higgins and the team, they were like, we got this. And Nakia Campbell's, she's our lead producer. At Shays was amazing because she's a Black woman as well, which you don't see a lot in producing at all for musical theater shows or Broadway shows. So it's been just like a full circle moment for us to say, this is what we need to do with our talent. And instead of just always kind of being at the forefront, like this show we're directing, and Karen's the musical director and directing with me as well, and I'm choreographing. But it's also an opportunity for us to give other people a chance. Like, hey, we have this really fly director that wants to come in and do this show or do this awesome reading that's like coming out of Ohio randomly. But we got some dope, Buffalo actors. Let's just try it out. So that's kind of what's happening. We're also working with a woman named Jenna Parker, who's originally from Buffalo in New York City. Has been working on a super dope show, her second show. So we're, in the works talking to her about bringing her show in to do a reading and then eventually put up the full show.
And you had mentioned earlier that this is for Dreamgirls, all Buffalo.
All Buffalo cast.
Buffalo cast.
George Brown did come back, so we got an equity New Yorker. He's a Buffalonian, though. He's a Buffalonian. But we just happened to get him in between him, like, coming off of a show. He just did Goddess in the musical in New York City at the Public. And he just, like, literally has this, like, few-week break before he goes back to New York City. So he agreed to do it, and it's a dope Buffalo cast. The show is Dreamgirls, and a lot of people don't know because they're kind of used to seeing older people play. But there's actually a younger cast because the real show, they're younger. Like, Laurel's, like, 18 in the show. And so we actually have, like, a actual 18-year-old in the show. So it's a wide range. You have like some older actors seasoned with some like folks that are literally getting ready to start college in the fall.
Wow.
So and newbies, like there's faces like a lot of time in theater, it can look like the same faces in Buffalo.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot.
So you're going to send the cast list over.
Yes.
I'm just making sure.
I already talked to Pete.
Okay,
we're good.
Cast in Buffalo.
This is how things happen in Buffalo.
There you go.
And with that being
Little group
said,
chat.
there has to be a way for both of those worlds to collide because it's been so separated for like so long that this is theater and this is film, and you have to be able to know how to do both. You have to be able to act for camera and also act live,
On
and they're
stage,
not the same.
Yeah.
Same with like doing production work, and a lot of times now with Hamilton, we'll talk about Hamilton. They had like a 6 camera over. It was like ridiculous, like for when they filmed.
Yeah.
So you have to also be able to know how to film live theater. Because that's the name of the game now too. People since COVID, people are like, I can't.
I'll watch it at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what does that look like now for newer shows that without having to go through all the rights?
Cory, as an actor yourself and hearing about all of this, what does this mean to you? And then also as you're mentoring students, because this is a young cast for Dreamgirls, and they're from Buffalo.
Yeah. I mean, it's always exciting. I think being from Buffalo, whether you're currently in Buffalo or not, hearing this should be exciting to you. You know what I mean? Like knowing your hometown is finally starting to get some of the light shine on it that it should for so long, because talent is not new here. Talent has been here. You know what I mean? Hard work has been here. So like now other people are just starting to see it. So it's so exciting. On the other side of it, there's been a few times where through Casting Buffalo, through some other, Travis, who's up here with Pan Am, through a few friends, I've gotten reached out to because it's like, hey, I know you're a teacher. I know you deal with kids. You couldn't fit this role because it's for a 7-year-old. But if you know a 7-year-old, and so like, there's been a few opportunities where through my friends, I've gotten to put my students on, whether it be they get the role or not. It's like I'm telling you this stuff, and now you get to put it in practice.
Yes.
So even at this young age, where it's like we're like scaffolding it so that it's safe for you, your parents are involved, and it's no high pressure, but you get a glimpse of it so that when you are 18 and you get out there into the real world, you're like, oh, no. I don't know if you noticed, Cory McCants was my teacher, so I know what I'm doing. Like, I've been exposed. I've been exposed, and you know what I mean? I know it. So, like, on that side of it, getting to hear what Casting Buffalo's doing and getting to hear this stuff, like, it's like, I'm so ready for it, because this next generation, man, we're going to make sure that they up for the challenge, you know?
Well, and I think exposure, everything everybody's been talking about, whether it's, with casting or exposing people to show that what goes on behind the scenes is showing younger people the possible jobs that you can have and what actually goes into making these productions, and just showing them that they can do it too and start somewhere. And, whether it's in theater or movies or behind the scenes, I think we take for granted that we know how everything works, but to show kids and college students that there's a lot of different jobs you can have.
I'm a huge advocate of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's, I loved movies from the day that I first saw something, but like the more I learned about the behind the scenes and the jobs and who does what, like to me, it's addicting.
It is.
And you want to put yourself in that environment as much as possible. So like everyone thinks, oh, you want to direct, you want to produce, you want to write, you want to stage manage, you want to do, it's like, it's that same world, but it's like, yeah, but like, have you seen what art department does and what they can create?
That's a thing.
And how integral they actually are. There's so many roles you don't realize are so important. Yeah.
Lighting, how important lighting is, and learning how to, how to gaff and how to like make you look great without makeup.
Right. There you go, Kyle. Like Pam.
I know you brought up Hamilton, the 10th anniversary already.
Really?
I know. It's crazy. 10 years already.
There's going to be a special performance at the Tony Awards. What is the significance of Hamilton, and how does it play a role in your lives? And, especially with you, Naila.
I think it brought theater back to the world in a specific kind of way. Whether I necessarily like love the show or not is not.
Yeah, there's always conversations around some things.
What is hip hop? Questionable, right? But with that being said, it opened up a whole new world for people to get introduced to theater. And it's the same way I think people feel about, drag, like RuPaul's Drag Race. And there's fundamental ways that when you're in that world, like the technicalities of what things should be versus like what the exposure is, and then how you can leverage that exposure. So for me, like, do I think it's the most hip hop thing in the world? Absolutely not. As an old school hip hop head, no. But do I think it did? Did I think it opened up doors for people to come back into the theater world and live theater and musical theater and try to kind of push upon some of these traditions that may not fit us anymore? Absolutely. I think it's amazing in that way.
I think that is beautifully said.
Yeah.
And I agree in so many ways. I do know that there are people here at this studio who love Hamilton, so I don't want to say anything disparaging.
No, I think you need to talk about your opinion, because I don't.
Only because I'm too passionate about it, and it doesn't make sense.
I wanted the historian. I'm trying to get it out of it. I'm trying to get that historic.
Any historian that you ask about Hamilton will forever side eye.
But to Naila's point, I do agree that it is what it has done. You can't take away from it.
No.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like the mass appeal of
Yes.
it.
What
Yeah.
it did, whether it's bringing people back in, whether it's opening people up to the idea. Like most of the time, the first of its kind or the early of its kind won't be the best, but it will be remembered for that.
Right.
And so in the same sense, to have like, I mean, everything this guy's done though, like when you talk about rap and musicals and all, like it's not, before him, it wasn't really seen all like that and accepted on this scale. And so you can't take that away from it because 5 years from now, when another writer who is like, man, you know, I saw this once and it moved me, when they write that thing that is going to be like, you know, re-revolutionized or whatever, it'll be because of that. And so you have to be thankful for that. But as far as the content of that piece is, you know.
Well, and there was and there was so much pop culture promotion around that, you know,
Yeah.
Saturday Night
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah, and
you
it made
know.
it this like, you know, the idea of like we can bring in all different kinds of people together.
Yeah.
So the idea of it is great. It's like America. Like the idea of it is great. The logistics of it don't always work out.
So
That's
maybe
funny.
there is some accuracy to it.
It's funny. I'm trying to like make sure, like, if I can draw a line between like Hamilton is a theater performance compared to like a film that like directly. And while I don't know if it's direct, but to me, I feel like it's almost like what Avatar did when it came back.
Yes.
It reinvented some things, right?
Yeah.
Here's 3D.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's, you know, putting it on IMAX cameras. Here is computer generated effects to the nth degree. And
Right.
everybody drove to the movie theater again.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the highest grossing movie of all time,
Yep.
you know.
Right.
But when you go into context, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's
We,
good.
we've
We've seen
maybe
it.
heard the story before.
We've seen it. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen
I'm
it.
so glad
And
we
great.
speak the truth in here.
and I respect it. Like, I've seen the second one. I actually think the second one's better, but that's me. Like,
Right,
it's
right.
it's fine, great, you know. But like you respect for what it did and
Yes.
brought
Absolutely.
back to the theaters, and now you know, in theaters are struggling again
Yes.
because with streaming. So of course another Avatar comes out next year.
Yes, always.
Right.
So
right,
when's
right.
remakes.
so when's Hamilton 2 coming?
Well, I mean, we
2.0.
that's probably not far off.
No, you know it's gonna
It's an
happen.
announcement, you know,
Yeah.
especially with the 10-year anniversary.
Right.
Right.
We predicting that on the Tonys, maybe. But also, you know, social media was also a huge part of Hamilton's
Yes.
promotion. That
Yeah.
I mean, have we really seen that in the past? I mean, TikTok.
And it was on Disney Plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I would say that was my exposure to it because I
Yes.
couldn't get to New York and
Right,
getting
right,
tickets
right,
for
right,
it was
right.
ridiculous. So, and when did it come out on Disney Plus? Wasn't it like 2020?
Yeah.
I was going to say.
I
It was
So
during
somewhere around there, yeah.
because they shot it and it was like all these different camera
Yeah.
angles that really hadn't been
So
done.
for me, that was the first time I saw it,
Yeah.
and it was just like, okay, it's good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not the same experience as in the
Right,
theater,
right.
but like
But you got to see it.
I got to see it,
Yeah.
because
yeah.
everyone talked about it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Do you think it has ushered in a new generation of theater goers, or has there been a translation to like supporting theater in general, or has it been
My
one-offs?
honest opinion is that I think it opened up for theater goers and people that want to go to the theater. Yes. I also think it opened up a can of worms for a lot of people to get into theater that maybe are leveraging the money and investment that come out of it, like the Disneys,
Mhm.
like these
That makes
major motion picture. Like initially they were kind of just in this commercial film television world, and now they're like,
Maybe
oh,
so,
we didn't
yeah.
know it can make that much money. Live theater, what? Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal just sold out, and
Yep.
$2.3 million in a weekend or whatever it was.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, let's
Yeah.
all get on game. You want $300 million for this next show? We got it. We don't care if it's bad. Lion King did great. Let's do Mulan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. And I
Yeah.
think I think Broadway's almost becoming too commercialized
Mm.
in a way that is not about the art. Is not now about what celebrity is going to be the lead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? Because now it's like, oh, so and so is going to be in.
It's selling
for 4
tickets.
weeks. Right.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, who was Denzel's understudy in the show he was in?
No, nobody
Shorty
knows.
had one. Nobody knows. Right. But in order to get that role, that whoever that actor is has to be incredible. But we don't care about the craft of that.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. Yeah.
So is
Same with Jake Gyllenhaal. Whoever his understudy was had to
Yeah.
be incredible because you're going against Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that sustainable? I mean, is that level
As
sustainable?
long as it makes people money, it's sustainable.
Yeah.
If you look at how many celebrities now are starting to invest, because the investment game has always been a very small group of people in Broadway.
Mhm.
The producing world, it has been very tight niche. It has been kind of these family organized people with a lot of money and wealth that kind of knew. It's like people that go to the opera. It's like if you know, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But now everyone's like, oh, Hamilton made some coin.
Yeah.
I like this Broadway show. Oh, let me try. Let me do this. Oh, you want me to workshop it for 9-10 years? Angelina Jolie just did it with The Outsiders and they won Tony.
Yeah.
Outsiders is a great show. Angelina Jolie, would it have happened without her? Not sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I think there's a direct line too of how you see what studios do at motion pictures now,
Yeah.
where it's just, it's IP. Whoever's got IP,
Right.
we're gonna make money off of.
What's
And
IP?
IP is intellectual property.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, I'm in a room of film and, I gotta make sure the listener knows.
So, just like you were saying, like, oh, well, Lion King and Matilda.
Right.
And, what I mean? Like, let's keep going. I think, like, Prince of Egypt's getting something, too.
Is it
And
really?
yeah, I was going to say.
I didn't know that.
They're going to go where the money can help going. And I feel like I've been hearing a lot that, like, there's a lot of amazing off-Broadway shows.
Oh, yeah.
That are bringing.
I would argue most of them are probably
Yeah, but
better.
that's the
Yeah.
They're bringing
They're
the
better
art.
than the
new-
Off-Broadway now is the new technical theater. Like these people, like the artists, like
Yes.
oh, these
That's
people
where you
can
go
rise.
now. Yeah, that's where you go
Right,
now.
because
Yeah.
if you can't sell tickets in a Broadway theater, like you're out. Your sales went down in a week. Oh, next gone,
Yeah,
and you're going
yeah.
on tour so we can make our money back. Like, and then next show it goes in. The next show goes
It's
in.
rotating.
And there's only 2 actual theaters on Broadway. People don't know that. The rest of them are not actually.
Ah.
That's a long story.
Well, yeah,
But,
'cause that is about like seating and all that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like what classify as Broadway versus off Broadway. It has to do with like the number of seats and all that stuff. So it's other stuff that goes into it. But that is to Naila's point. Like that's where the grind is now. It's like if you are doing this for the art, Broadway is it's always Broadway, but like these people are getting in here now. You know what I mean?
So that's where the artistic
you'll
credit
see
is
some
now. And
some big actors that are going back to their like regional theaters because they're like, I want to get my craft
Right.
back in.
Right.
That's just what it is. And people don't know we have the gym here. I mean, Shay's, their Wonder Theater is like 3,000 seats. That's bigger than any Broadway theater on Broadway.
Wow.
So we have this amazing city here with amazing acting and amazing talent and amazing creative teams.
Yes.
That you can also see on Broadway. And I think people mistaken that because they hear the term like regional theater or community theater and they think that is less than.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, I've seen touring shows and Broadway shows where I've seen regional theaters demolish
Oh, yeah.
those shows.
Yeah.
Like acting wise. Because it's like sometimes like I just can't watch a bad celebrity. out
Yeah.
here
Why are we
half
doing
singing.
this? Why are we doing
Nah,
this?
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. There's very few Cynthia Erivos in the world.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And
Well, that's where your
it.
production company comes in.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We got to fix that now.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
The next level of investors.
Yes.
You want to know where the real stuff is? It's
Yeah.
It's true. That's the secret game. It ain't tech.
Right,
Well, okay,
right.
it is. But we're nowhere near money like tech. However, you can also get investment return in theater and film.
There you go.
In case you just joined us, you're listening to Group Chat. I'm your host, Bentley, here with Kyle Mecca, Naila Ansari-Catilo, and Cory McCants. And, some other theater conversations that have come up in the debate of the live audience was Jamie Lloyd's last few onstage productions. So Evita starring Rachel Zegler.
Mm-hmm.
So she apparently, the main scene that everybody wants to see in Evita was performed outside of the theater, and the people in the audience didn't actually get to see it, but it was streamed. So what are your thoughts on that? Does that...
It's just not live theater.
Yeah.
Like COVID, we had to stream because we needed a coin and we couldn't do live theater.
Yeah.
Nobody was like purposely streaming live theater because it's
Right.
great. First of all, it never looks good on. It does not translate the
sound-
same way. No, it just
none of it right.
it
right.
doesn't sound good. I mean, it's not built for that. It's the same reason why like there's no justification for AI to like have someone on stage. Like nobody wants to watch a robot on stage.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
There's certain things that is good for and there's things that it's not. Theater is meant to be live. It's meant to be ephemeral. It's meant to be like, I felt this.
Yeah, it's personal.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and I always say, like, I may not be a physician or anything like that, but like you can heal people when you make them forget about their problems for 2 hours, right? Or an hour and a half. Like that's a healing in itself that you get people to be present all the time. That's really difficult to do. And when you can sit at home and just like, oh, let me pause, let me go get some popcorn, and then let me go back to this dramatic scene.
Right.
Or be
And
on your phone while you're watching it.
You can't in the theater. There's still, even though you can eat in there now, so that changed. But there's still that etiquette that you have to be present. Like you can't have your phone on, you can't have all these things. And I think when you take that away, it's no longer theater.
Yeah.
It's just some digital form of it.
Are
But
you
to that, like
cheating your
I've
audience?
had like talent ask me, like, well, should I go for acting lessons? Should I go for this? How do I, brave my craft and be better? And I'm like, go to theater.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you are watching master crafts every single time you step in that theater and watch stage, because they have to go from point A to point B every single night through a performance. And you get to watch that emotional journey. And that's what you're trying to do in 5 seconds.
Right.
But like, go see how they do it.
Right.
You know?
And you're not like, line,
There's
wait,
no cut. There's no cut.
Stop.
No,
like,
no,
you can't, you mess it up. You
You're
mess
there.
up that line. Y'all better figure it out to make the story make sense. Like, or, something happens.
Figure it
like,
out.
Like some light can go off wrong. You know what I mean? A cue's called. You have
gotta
to
work
learn
through it.
You have to work through it. And I think you have to be the most resilient human being to do theater. You really do, because you have to trust your gut and you have to be in the moment all the time. Like, you can't just all of a sudden be like, something happened before I got on stage and now I'm thinking that in the middle. But it just doesn't, it can't happen. You have to be there all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's why whenever I see all the things that you do and I see live theater, I think I can never do that. That's why I appreciate it so much.
You just always have a constant pit in your stomach. Once you get used to that happening,
Really?
you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'd be throwing up before every. So I know you're all very busy people. What do you have coming up this weekend? What are your plans? What are some things you are working on?
Rehearsals for Dreamgirls, September 10th through the 28th. Tickets are selling super fast, so everybody go get your tickets for Dreamgirls. And I'm not just saying that because people are like,
no, I tried to get some yesterday, and I was like, I had to pick a different date.
Yeah,
I think
I gotta get on that then.
They're legit.
We need to all do this.
So get your tickets now, and there's group sales too, which are always great because you get the discount with 10 or more people.
Oh,
there we go.
Yes, and go to the
We're
actual
gonna create a group chat.
and go to the actual Shays website, because don't be wary of like all the different like random people selling tickets and
tell
stuff.
People all the
Shays
time. Yes.
website through the Ticketmaster.
Yes, that's for everything. All of the concerts happening too.
That's how you do
Google a show.
Yes,
and go to the links. Go to the actual site. I think that's my soapbox. Right. Oh my goodness, Kyle. What about you?
We have the Casting Buffalo's Actors Expo coming up on August 23rd at Rich's Atrium, 12 to 7. Tickets are on sale at castingbuffalo.com. With that, I mean, we're only a weekend of selling tickets, and I was just talking to Cory earlier. I said we're already halfway to what we've been doing.
that's amazing.
It's crazy,
Right?
but it's going to be the place to be, the place to network and kind of launch your career. So August 23rd, Casting Buffalo Actors Expo.
You sold me. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, man.
I'm just gonna wander through just so I can see.
Please do.
Yeah, man.
Next time we see Bentley on TV,
like, wait a minute.
Bentley got cast.
So for me, if we get this gig, I'll be in New York.
For commercial.
Ooh.
For a
Yeah.
commercial?
So if we get it, fingers crossed. You know what I mean? But also, my birthday's coming up, so I'm doing a bossed up 36. I'm 36, man. I'm turning 36. So it's a bossed up 36. It's like we're having it at a speakeasy. It's a little secret.
Classy.
Everybody got to come in their best, like, mafia formal attire. You know what I mean? So if I got to play a little part, feel me? But it's going to be super dope. I'm exciid for that. So,
When's your actual birthday?
the 18th, August
Okay.
18th.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you know.
So am I.
Yeah, all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
and so
Oh, that
did
explains
mama.
so
yeah,
much.
right,
Oh my
yeah.
Aries
had,
are
wait, I
different
had
size.
3.
Okay, so yeah.
Aries.
Yeah,
Shoot,
yeah.
man.
Wait, we have 2 Leos and 2 Aries.
You do.
Oh,
That's why we
that's
chose
all it is.
And
these
I was
sides.
wondering why this.
That makes sense.
I was like, why is this session
But-
feeling so? That's what it is.
That's what
Yeah.
the dressers are when they're looking at us. Could y'all wrap this up?
Yeah, they're like, can you guys
'Cause-
shut up, please? Aries and Leos in a room together. That wraps up today's episode of Group Chat. For now, if you want to continue the conversation, make sure you follow us on Instagram at BTPMNPR. Also, check us out on the video podcast on the Buffalo Toronto Public Media YouTube channel. I'd like to thank my guests here, Kyle Mecca, Naila Ansari-Catilo, Cory McCants. Thank you for being here. I'm your host, Bentley. Have a great weekend, and thanks for listening.